Have you ever considered whom or what you are listening to when you delve into your thoughts? Is it truly your authentic voice or something deeper, hidden, capable of whispering both truth and deception simultaneously? Imagine a continuous stream of thoughts that shapes the narrative of your life, questions past decisions, resurrects long-gone memories, and even attempts to predict a future that never arrives. What is this phenomenon, and why does it wield such power over your existence? The reality is that most people don't realize they are not their thoughts. They are not that voice. Every person is an observer, a silent witness to all this mental noise. Yet many live their lives as if trapped in a labyrinth of their own thoughts. Entangled in a web of mental chatter, they mistakenly believe to be their true reality. But what if there was a way to break free from this endless noise? What if freedom from the mind's limitations was within reach? Imagine living a life filled with clarity, tranquility, and boundless energy. The mind strives for control, keeping you constantly busy, thinking, planning, worrying, and regretting. And as long as you remain under its sway, life passes by, moment by moment. You miss the beauty, the quiet, and the magic of simply being present. Moving forward, we will explore ways to quiet this noise and connect with a deeper part of yourself, one that exists beyond thoughts and emotions, beyond the illusion of control. You will learn how to liberate yourself from the incessant stream of thoughts and discover a level of peace you may not have even known existed. Take a deep breath and for a moment, release all your worries. Let this moment be the beginning of a journey to rediscover your true self, which has always been there, patiently waiting behind the veil of noise. The truth is, the voice in your head is not you. Once you realize this, your perception of thoughts and life will change forever. It's time to delve deeper into uncovering the true nature of this voice and learning how to reclaim your inner peace. When you are alone with your thoughts, what do you hear? A calm and supportive guide, or an incessant chatter that seems to never stop? Many live with an inner voice that never quiets down, a constant narrative that analyzes, criticizes, plans, and rehashes events. But here's the surprising truth. That voice is not you. Pause for a moment. If you are able to hear the voice, to observe it, doesn't that indicate you are separate from it? You are not the chatter itself, but the one listening to it. This realization is a powerful step towards reclaiming inner peace. Once you understand that you are not the voice, you can detach from its power. The inner voice, this constant companion of consciousness, doesn't arise by chance. Originally conceived as a defense mechanism, it's designed to help navigate a complex world, anticipate events, and plan actions. However, in its pursuit of safety, it often creates mental chaos, endlessly replaying arguments, anticipating problems, and fabricating worries that are never destined to materialize. To better understand its nature, imagine yourself in a movie theater. On the screen, a captivating scene unfolds, a magnificent sunset over a tranquil ocean. But instead of immersing yourself in the beauty of the moment, someone next to you is relentlessly whispering, "Why is the sun that color? What's the chance of rain? What's going to happen next?" This is precisely how the inner voice operates, continuously commenting on life and preventing you from simply being present in the moment. So, how do you gain freedom from this mental noise? The first step is to learn to observe your inner voice. Right now, you can take a few minutes, close your eyes, and listen to the thoughts flitting through your mind. What are they saying? Are they analyzing what you've read, planning your next actions, or doubting the effectiveness of this practice? Regardless of the content, the important thing is to simply listen and note how the voice behaves as if it has a life of its own. The key realization is that the voice is not a person, but merely a pattern, a set of ingrained mental habits. By observing it without judgment, you create a distance between yourself and this incessant chatter. This distance is freedom, a space where you can experience life directly, without the filter of constant mental noise. The inner voice thrives on attention. The more you believe its stories, the stronger it becomes. But once you manage to detach and begin observing it, its power starts to wane. Instead of being an actor involved in the drama, you become a spectator, calmly watching the play. It's important to remember that the goal is not to silence the voice, which is fundamentally impossible. Thoughts will come and go like clouds drifting across the sky. The task is to realize that these are just thoughts, not a reflection of reality. You are the sky, vast, unchanging, and unaffected by the clouds. This is the foundation of inner freedom, the realization that your identity is not your thoughts, but the awareness behind them. By strengthening this awareness, you unlock a deeper sense of peace and clarity than ever before. Now let's explore what happens when this understanding is applied to the emotions the inner voice often triggers. This is about shedding emotional baggage and truly letting go of the past. Of course, letting go isn't always easy, especially when it comes to deeply rooted emotions linked to traumatic experiences. But even then, the key remains the same. Feel the emotion, but don't become it. Observe it, but don't let it define you. Much of the emotional weight people carry stems not so much from the events themselves, but from an unwillingness to release them. Painful memories, unresolved anger, and lingering fears shouldn't define your life, yet they will continue to do so as long as you cling to them. Emotions are like a flow of energy, requiring constant movement. However, when you hold tightly to your experiences, replaying past events over and over, or resisting your feelings, this energy becomes stuck, transforming into a heavy burden that you carry everywhere. And the longer you cling to this burden, the heavier it becomes. Consider what happens when someone hurts your feelings. The event itself might pass quickly, but the affected mind continues to relive it repeatedly, analyzing every tiny detail. The pain feels as if it's happening all over again. In reality, however, the pain is caused not by the event itself, but by the inability to let it go. To let go doesn't mean to forget or pretend nothing happened. It means freeing yourself from the power that event holds over you. It means allowing emotions to rise, feeling them, and then releasing them. It's important to realize that emotions are transient. Anger, sadness, fear, they are all like waves in the ocean. They rise, reach a peak, and eventually subside. Trying to fight a wave, resist it, or cling to it will only lead to being pulled under. Try a small exercise. Think of something that weighs on you, whether it's an argument, a regret, or a worry about the future. Pay attention to the sensations in your body, a tightness in your chest, a knot in your stomach. Don't judge these sensations or try to push them away. Simply allow them to be. Then take a deep breath, and as you exhale, imagine the tightness loosening and the knot unraveling. You can say to yourself, "I see you, I feel you, and I release you." Continue to breathe gently, allowing the emotion to flow freely through your body. This is the power of surrender, not as a sign of weakness, but as an act of liberation. By ceasing to fight your emotions, you create space for them to pass, letting go of the stories your mind tells and simply feeling what is. Indeed, letting go is not always easy. Some emotions are deeply rooted, connected to past experiences that have left scars. But even in such cases, the key to liberation remains the same. Feel the emotion, but don't become it. Observe it, but don't let it define you. Another helpful technique is to name a strong emotion when it arises. For example, saying, "This is anger," or "This is sadness." By naming the emotion, you separate yourself from it, reminding yourself that it's just an emotion, not who you are. Ultimately, the essence of life isn't about avoiding pain, but about moving through it, allowing yourself to feel deeply, to experience fully, without getting stuck in the past. Now that we've shed emotional baggage, let's turn our attention to another source of distraction, the illusion of control, and learn how surrender can bring liberation. People strive for control, over their lives, over others, over the future. It seems to provide security, as if by managing every detail, one can find peace. However, the paradox is that the more you try to control, the more acutely you realize how little control you actually have. And this realization, though initially frightening, can become the key to liberation. Reflecting on life experiences, one inevitably comes to the question, how often do our carefully crafted plans crumble under the onslaught of reality? Remember how we rehearsed a flawless dialogue that ended up going completely off script? Or how we envisioned a career path that, contrary to our expectations, led us somewhere entirely different? Such developments, while certainly disappointing, are essentially an unavoidable part of life. The desire for control often turns out to be nothing more than an illusion. Life, in all its multifaceted complexity, simply cannot be contained within the frameworks we try to impose on it. You cannot force the weather to change simply by expressing a dislike for rain. You cannot make others act according to scenarios created in your imagination. And of course, the future unfolds according to its own laws, regardless of our attempts to predict or subjugate it to our will. But what happens when we stubbornly cling to this elusive hope of control? We condemn ourselves to suffering. We resist the natural course of events, futilely trying to bend them to our will. We torment ourselves with anxiety over things beyond our control, thereby draining our vital energy. It's like trying to hold water in your hands. The tighter you squeeze, the more slips through your fingers. However, what if we tried to let go? What if we embraced inevitability, not as defeat, but as an act of trust? Trust that life knows what it's doing, even when it's not obvious to us. Trust in our own ability to cope with any challenges, even if they don't align with our initial plans. Try a simple exercise. Close your eyes and focus on what currently triggers your urge to control. It might be an important decision, a personal relationship, or the outcome of a situation that feels vitally important. Pay attention to the sensations in your body. Perhaps there's tension, anxiety, or a sense of urgent necessity. Take a deep breath, and as you exhale, imagine releasing the need for control. Picture yourself opening your hands, letting go of the reins you've held so tightly. Repeat to yourself, "I let this go. I trust the process." Releasing control doesn't mean losing interest in what's happening or ceasing to act. It means stopping the attempts to force events into the outcome we deem the only correct one. It means taking initiative, doing everything within our power, and then allowing life to take its course. The whole point is that life has its own rhythm and wisdom. And when we stop fighting it, when we allow ourselves to flow with it, we gain a sense of peace that cannot be achieved through control. We begin to understand that even when things don't go as planned, the result is often better than we could have imagined. Imagine yourself standing in a river. If you resist the current, trying to force the water in another direction, you'll soon feel exhausted. But if you simply float with the current, you'll move effortlessly. Life is the same way. The flow is always moving, always guiding us if we are willing to trust it. However, embracing the inevitable applies not only to external circumstances, but also to our inner world. How often do we try to control our thoughts or emotions, forcing ourselves to feel a certain way? What if we simply allowed them to be? What if we trusted that they too will pass and disappear like everything else? As a guiding principle in life, you can use the affirmation, "I direct my efforts toward what is within my control, and I release what is beyond my reach." It's helpful to repeat this phrase in moments when the urge arises to control a situation, force something, or resist. This reminds you that while you can influence your actions, decisions, and worldview, everything else is subject to circumstances. By freeing yourself from excessive control, you can discover new horizons, fill your life with freedom, and realize the potential of your heart. Imagine a life where every morning begins with a feeling of freedom, a lightness in your heart, and tranquility in your thoughts, ready to embrace whatever the new day brings. This is the essence of an open life. However, for many, this remains just a dream, as they have built walls around themselves made of fear, pain, and a desire for protection. Consider how many times you've held back your feelings for fear of judgment, or avoided opportunities for fear of failure. These walls may create an illusion of protection, but in reality, they keep you trapped, hindering the flow of life, connections with others, and new experiences. An open life doesn't mean an absence of difficulties and suffering. It implies ceasing to subject your life to the fear of these phenomena, choosing to embrace life in its entirety, with its unpredictability and imperfections. Let's start with the heart. The heart is the most powerful energy center of the human body. When it is open, you feel alive, connected to the world, and at peace. Otherwise, a sense of isolation, defensiveness, and heaviness arises. Why do people close their hearts? Typically, it's out of fear. Fear of being vulnerable, of getting hurt, of revealing your true self. However, vulnerability is not weakness. It is a manifestation of strength. By living with an open heart, you allow yourself to feel deeply, form genuine connections, and live life to the fullest. Yes, it comes with risks, but this is where true joy and fulfillment are found. To open your heart, try the following exercise. Take some time to reflect on someone or something you love, a person, a pet, a place, or even a memory. Feel the warmth that arises with this love. Imagine this warmth expanding, filling your chest, and radiating outward with each breath. Allow this feeling to grow as if you are sending it out into the world. This is the power of an open heart, and the more you practice it, the easier it becomes to live this way. Not protected, but free. Living openly also means embracing the present moment. How often do people get bogged down in worrying about the future or regretting the past, thus missing the life that is happening here and now? The present moment is where life unfolds, where beauty, joy, and peace exist. However, to experience this, you must release the mental distractions that pull you away from the present. To firmly establish yourself in the present moment, a simple exercise is suggested. Regardless of your location, stop, take a deep breath, and pay attention to your surroundings. What visual images appear before your eyes? What sounds reach your ears? What tactile sensations arise? Engage all your senses. If your mind begins to wander, gently bring it back to the present moment. This practice of mindful presence opens the way to a full life, allowing you to perceive reality as it is, not as your mind portrays it. It is in this clarity that true freedom is found. However, an open life is not limited to one's relationship with oneself. It also encompasses interactions with others. How often do people hide their true thoughts and feelings for fear of being rejected or misunderstood? Yet, it is in moments of sincerity and vulnerability that genuine connections are forged. As a challenge, next time you're in a conversation, try to be utterly honest. Share something intimate, something you usually keep hidden. Notice how it feels to express yourself openly and sincerely. You might be surprised at how much it deepens your connection with the other person. Living openly also means saying yes to life. Often people hold themselves back due to fear or doubt, waiting for the perfect moment. However, the reality is that life rarely offers ideal opportunities. You must create them yourself by taking a step forward, by saying yes, even when you're not completely sure. An open life is a choice made daily. It is the practice of letting go of fear, embracing vulnerability, and being fully present in the moment. It's not always easy, but it is always worth it. Having realized the power of an open life, it's essential to integrate all these aspects to grasp true freedom, a freedom that remains unwavering despite life's challenges. What does it truly mean to be free? Does it mean having no obligations or avoiding pain and difficulties? No, true freedom lies not in escaping life, but in fully embracing it. It's a life without internal limitations, such as intrusive thoughts, emotional baggage, and the need for control. True freedom originates from within. Freedom should be viewed not as something acquired, but as something revealed. It is already present within you, hidden beneath layers of fear, doubt, and resistance. Freedom is a natural state, achieved when you stop clinging to what no longer serves you and release what is beyond your control. Let's begin with the mind. Many believe that freedom comes with solving every problem or achieving every goal. However, as experience shows, after one problem is solved, another arises. It's like an endless game. The point is that the mind will always find something to latch onto if you don't learn to detach and observe it. As a practice, try the following. The next time your mind starts haphazardly sifting through worries or plans, pause, take a deep breath, and remind yourself, I am not my thoughts. Observe them like leaves floating down a river, allowing them to drift by without lingering on them. This isn't about ignoring reality, but about freeing yourself from the stories your mind creates around it. Consider the realm of emotions, where genuine freedom manifests not in suppressing feelings, but in liberating yourself from their power. Emotions, like ocean waves, surge and recede, but they should not dictate the course of your life. When confronted with anger, sadness, or fear, it's important to acknowledge their presence, accept them as part of the experience, and then allow them to pass. without resisting or holding on to them. A key realization on the path to freedom is understanding that inner peace doesn't depend on the external world conforming to expectations. Freedom can be found even in chaos by letting go of the desire for an ideal life. Imagine yourself at the epicenter of a storm where wind and rain create chaos. Yet, at the very heart of the raging tempest, there remains an unmoving stillness, embodying your true self. This inner stability is unaffected by external circumstances. By connecting with this stillness, you realize that freedom lies not in stopping the storm, but in finding peace within it. How then do you embody this freedom in daily life? Through the practice of mindfulness, by letting go of what cannot be changed, and by accepting life as it is, not as you wish it to be. You can use the following mantra: I am free, no matter what. Uttering these words in moments of overwhelm, when something doesn't go as planned, or when emotions threaten to engulf you, reminds you that freedom is not somewhere out there, but here and now. True freedom lies in being fully present in life without fear, resistance, or the need for control. It means being completely alive in every moment, trusting that no matter the circumstances, everything will be all right. Pausing for a moment and taking a deep breath, you can allow the words to settle, the thoughts to calm, and simply be here. This is the moment this narrative has been leading to. The realization that everything you need is already within you. Clarity, peace, freedom. It is not something to chase, but something waiting to be discovered. Recalling the starting point, the restless inner voice that initially seemed all-powerful, dictating every thought, feeling, and decision. It's crucial to realize that this voice is not your true self. Your true self is the observer who sees, hears, and decides how much power to give that voice. Next, consider the weight of emotional baggage, the anger, fear, and pain that people carry for too long. Letting go doesn't mean ignoring these emotions, but rather experiencing them, acknowledging them, and then releasing them. You shouldn't cling to every wave that crashes over you. Instead, allow it to pass, trusting that you will remain unwavering, no matter how strong the current. Then the illusion of control is revealed, the false belief in the ability to shape every outcome, avoid every mistake, and protect yourself from life's uncertainties. True freedom comes through surrender, trusting the flow of life, and realizing that the less resistance there is, the more peace there will be. And now, the moment arrives when you step into an era of openness, casting aside all barriers and masks. There is no longer a need to build walls around yourself or hide from the world. Instead, your heart is wide open to love, ready to both give and receive it, meeting every moment of life with courage and sincerity. It is in this authenticity that true happiness lies, in the present moment, pure and unadulterated. But what do you do next, having gained this understanding? How do you apply it? The answer is simple. You must practice continuously. This is not a one-time transformation, but a daily choice. In every moment, you have the opportunity to pause and observe the situation from a detached perspective, to free yourself from everything that holds you back, to release the urge for control, and to open yourself to the limitless possibilities that life offers. For freedom is not a final destination, not a finish line to cross, nor a prize to be won. Freedom is a state of being. It is a constant choice to return to yourself, to trust yourself, to live a full and open life, regardless of life's vicissitudes. As we conclude this discussion, take a deep breath. Feel that inner quiet, that unshakable part of yourself that nothing can disturb. Carry this feeling with you, allow it to guide you, and remember, freedom is found not through external circumstances, but through what happens within.